So let's call the meeting to order Monday, April 8th at 7:08.
Oh, 8.
If we want to have yes, all in favor? Let's do it. So first, I think members present. We'll start down usually then on the end.
Ben Norton.
Ben Norton is the high school liaison and person, a voting member of the board. Right?
Soon be our college representative.
Yeah. He doesn't want to. We do this every year, every couple of years. All right, let's move on.
Mary Anastasio.
Courtney Boudreau.
John Regan.
David Brohl.
Mark Sant.
Cindy Carrier, COA liaison.
Okay. The meetings, the last minute's meetings have not been finished yet, so we're going to skip that.
My apologies to the group.
No, you go out of your way for way too much, so I appreciate everything. Correspondence. Any?
I did get it. Courtney, go ahead.
Should I just go over what the documents that were needed / were
Yes.
gotten?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, please.
I wish my computer was working, but, so there were a couple missing documents from certain organizations that had requested field use. Let's see. And I had sent back to Mark and David the ones that were, all set, which I believe everybody was all set except for, Triton Youth Soccer still has not, uploaded or sent me certificate of insurance liability, like an up-to-date one, and a letter about Corey status of the staff and coaches. So those were the outstanding ones.
So the binder and the Corey.
Right.
Okay. And you've reached out to Jason?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you get a response from Jason?
I got a response that 2 of the coaches were pending Corey checks, and then I responded with, okay, fine, and then if you could get me the binder, and then I didn't hear back.
I saw him the other night, or the other day. They were lining the field, which is just pretty amazing.
They weren't doing anything. It was the satellite one?
Yeah.
Straight line.
He just said he puts it on there, and the satellite does the straight line,
That's cool.
which is amazing. Bills and claims.
The only bills that we had were with Mello, and that's been submitted. I just checked, I didn't see anything recent. But we are mid-April, so
Yeah. And Mello's going to be monthly, right?
We're gonna have, we started
bi-weekly,
weekly now. We'll see how it goes. I'd rather make sure that it's empty during the height of the seasons.
Yeah.
And we can go back to every other week in the summer if it doesn't.
Did they
That's
unlock
short
it?
money.
Did they unlock it?
It wasn't unlocked the other day.
It was or wasn't?
It wasn't.
It wasn't on
But that
Thursday.
was, I think the day we walked the field for the first time.
I think it's been
The
unlocked
first-
since
okay.
then. I haven't heard anything from Mello. They would have notified me if they hadn't been able to access. I'll double check tomorrow.
All right.
But
Yep.
the other bill that we had mentioned last time was a no heat situation, and I have not seen that as of yet.
The Townsend emergency call, is that the?
Yes.
Okay.
And that probably goes from DPW, and D2 will probably pay it, and then they'll take it from.
Right, but that's the only one.
Yeah, and-
I know that might
yeah.
be out there that we haven't seen.
And we may not see it, who knows? I don't know accounting wise how they do that, whether that's
I
like.
think
a-
Annette will give it to me
Okay,
eventually, yeah.
okay. I didn't know if it was just like,
I think it's all under one
Repair.
umbrella,
okay,
and then we
They-
just
they
kind of.
figure it out.
Yeah.
what committees or what groups pay it. Application for field, did I just say that? Application for field court, field house or others? Anyone?
Any
There's
new
been
ones?
nothing new.
No.
I need to submit mine. So, for pickleball, and then my regular Monday, Wednesday thing through the summer, so.
So pickleball has not started yet?
That starts June 1st.
Oh, really?
For us.
Okay,
I started it in May last year and we got rained out a ton.
okay.
Um,
But I think last year was coming anomaly, like this spring.
Yeah, but the way the spring has been going.
It might be an anomaly.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
concerned,
Well,
but,
for the benefit of all, if you don't submit it, it's gonna be nicer weather.
okay.
If you submit it early,
I'll ruin everyone's spring, is that what
Yeah.
you're saying? But did you wanna talk about,
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're gonna have a side conversation before, but I think that might be a good opportunity for the rec department to get in the pickleball business. And we'll start like May 1st with your slots, Tuesday, Thursday, then give them up in May. And then at that point in May, I think we might decide to go Monday, Wednesday, Monday, Friday. There's no problem with town hall being closed, right? If there is for you, there might not be for us.
there is for me, I
Yeah.
can't do anything when our office is closed.
Right.
But I don't know, in terms of,
Yeah, I don't think you have a problem.
are you suggesting
as long as you
that?
have access to the box to get the equipment,
Yeah,
or are you gonna commit to being there every time?
for 8 weeks, I think I could,
You can handle it?
yeah. Responsibility.
So what are we doing? Sorry.
Yeah, are
I'm not
you
following.
suggesting a COA and then a town of Newbury open court for families or other groups?
Yes,
Okay.
in that morning time slot. In fact, the other thing for discussion would be whether it's smarter to do that April-May piece at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I really haven't, it shouldn't matter to you guys.
Let's have a conversation about that and.
Well, I'd be concerned about basketball if that's where you're going, yeah.
Yeah, I think there might be a time where we look at later in the evening, once or twice, so families could do it, or other people can use it during the day. So
Yeah,
it could be opposite days of those, if you're doing a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday,
Yeah.
after mid-morning, and then one day a week, just arbitrarily, capriciously chosen one, to see if there's any interest after, say, 5 o'clock.
I think we know for sure right now, the Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 11 is, they're chomping at the bit.
yes. And that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the idea of us stepping in just to get our toes in the water.
Right,
And if we get to May and people are showing up, because now the word is out, you know,
Right.
that we've got courts, and there's potential there that we're gonna pick up a lot of people.
Do we need additional balls so that COA will always have their fair share and maybe extra paddles? So
we have a
that-
good amount of paddles. I
Paddles, I'd
think.
say we're okay. Balls, we might at some point.
Want to order more, but I'm gonna order the right ones, because I
So-
ordered the wrong one.
Being
Yeah.
It's actually
a
very
novice at
touchy
this,
subject, yeah.
do people bring their own paddles?
A lot of people
Yes.
do.
Yeah, so it's like a tennis court. You may have tennis rackets around, but you probably don't need them because people bring their own.
We always, so I have, what do I have, 4 sets
Mhm.
there? I think
4
we have
sets of
4
two?
sets.
Yeah.
I think
And there's
eight-
2
yeah.
paddles in each set, and I
Yeah.
think towards the end of the season last year, I was only bringing out 2 of the sets.
Yeah,
And I don't even think they're really getting used.
yeah.
So many of them, so many people bring them.
Well, and again,
But,
so
like, with your new people,
this goes
They
to
don't have
the next discussion, which is what do we do for beginner program, but I don't think that
like
has to
Kathy
be
and I are still
resolved now.
working on that on our end,
Yeah,
trying to find an instructor.
I've got someone I've talked to about it, but he's gonna fail all the LLC requirements and all that stuff, it's not gonna work.
I have a conversation with you later about that. There's
Yeah.
a simpler solution. I think he's overthinking it.
I'm not sure who he is, but yeah. No, there's a guy who gives lessons, and I talked to him, I said, would you be interested? And he said, well, what are you offering? And I said, I got nothing. Do you live in Newbury? Because I can get you a tax credit, you know, that was my,
Well,
That's a whole other.
the other thing is, so I pay a yoga instructor, I pay
Yeah.
the stretch instructor.
yeah.
I'd be open to paying for
But
during.
aren't they
our-
corporations, though? Those businesses exist,
So,
they
yeah,
have real, yeah.
but I think you just need to put like a rider on your homeowners, don't you, something?
We're having 2 different conversations. What you're asking for, if they have like a EIN number or something like that, and a certificate of doing business.
Certificate of insurance, yeah.
But the people you're paying, I don't think they've ever submitted anything. They just said
I have to get their certificate of insurance.
from like a homeowner's policy, or are you?
Well, they are both, it's a business.
Yeah,
Okay.
business
So,
policy.
yeah.
The research we did, and this has gone way too long here, conversation-wise, but the research we did, unless you've got that corporate umbrella, that LLC umbrella, then your house is somehow in jeopardy, you know, liability-wise. You can go out with the policy for like $300, but the policy should really be covering a corporation. The corporation, at that point, it's like $500 a year to be registered as an LLC. So, I mean, you're talking, they're gonna lose money. I mean, it's, for somebody off the street.
Mhm.
We could get a volunteer, but the whole discussion about whether we want just Wednesday to be beginner's day. Or go another way, which is if you want beginner lesson, Elite Gym in Salisbury does it, three lessons for $60 or something, and, that would be another vehicle.
Tell them to go there for their lessons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it, but.
The simpler solution, I would think, is,
Okay.
and I'm not a business person, but form a nonprofit, and it's a $35 filing fee for the Secretary of State to give a IRS to get a letter of determination, and just fill out your monthly forms, and they're negligible in price. You don't need to be a corporation.
It's
So
For
it might be like
corporation.
Friends of Newbury Pickleball kind of thing?
Friends of Newbury Pickleball, yeah.
All right. We'll go off.
And I can
we'll go off
help
on it.
organize the papers in.
But if I want to start, I should have gotten my request in.
It's not too late.
You said your computer didn't work.
Right now,
Well, the computer works, it's the
yeah,
Wi-Fi.
it's the one.
So should you vote
So,
on
yeah, I think
that?
I think we could probably.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm
Conditional
looking
vote on it, so at least they can start. I don't think that is a problem,
Yeah.
because we have time open, correct? The slots are open. It's a rec member that's requesting it, so that should not be a problem.
Well, it's a recreation committee
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
is doing it, so we
Yeah.
can put it in at any time.
Yeah, so,
And it's, we don't need to vote on ourselves.
yeah, so, let's not vote on ourselves, let's just make it happen.
Okay.
I guess.
Do you have any objection to Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 11?
No, what I'll do, so we still have ping pong
Yeah.
through May. And
That's
you and
the
I
answer
kind
to
of
the-
batted it back
That's the
and
answer to the rain
forth.
problem.
Right, is he can have the option of pickleball, but,
Outside on the basketball court.
but if it's raining, they can come inside and play
Right.
ping pong. So,
Yeah.
We
There's
need
an
this
option.
too.
what?
It's about time for you to come down.
I'm going to, I just, I have no life. When do you play?
When you're not there, obviously. Tuesday, Thursdays.
What
9
time?
to 11.
10 to 12, it's kind of
10,
more
yeah,
than
10
10
to
to 12. And we
Might
all,
be worth losing my job, you know?
we had a field trip, we went over to Newburyport at the beginning of the year when we got our butts whipped. I really just, it was
Yeah.
shameful.
Well,
And I think we're actually pretty good
Yeah,
now.
see, that's what happens. I'll probably get beat too, but, all right.
You're a legend though.
I'd love to try.
I did.
What's that?
In his own mind, he's a legend.
There'll be
Oh,
no
right.
living with him now.
Don't wanna hear.
I didn't say that, I just, I don't know.
All right, so I'll put in my requests to you.
Cool.
And I will put in a request when I get home.
Okay.
Now, I haven't played for like probably 3 years, so it's gonna take a little bit to get the rust off.
No. Can write that.
All right,
Legends do that. Goats.
yeah, see how you're ruining my life. Opening and closure of the central field playing fields.
As people may or may not have seen some of my emails, we're going up to the field almost every day, and the conditions
Yeah.
of the field are not sufficient to have them open at this time. When I first started going up, Dave was up there a couple of times with me. You would step in, you'd be in like an inch of water. Today, when I went up, when you step on in different parts of all 5 fields, 5.5, 5 6 fields, 240. There's, some spots will look okay, but the whole playing field is not.
Yeah, if
You
you go to
step
the
on it,
field, yeah, you do like,
Water does come up around you, and, as you look into our manual, you'll see it's squishy, and it's certainly squishy.
yeah, yeah, if
So
you
what-
do the foot up and down, all of a sudden you'll hear squish, squish, so. So I guess a question is gonna, and this is like, it's like the Bermuda Triangle. Did we approve or did we not approve a while ago a storyboard or whatever for,
We approved it.
did we not purchase
We
it?
never purchased it, to the best of my knowledge.
Did you have something to do with that?
I
Yeah.
have those
She's got a
A-frames,
second.
I have a couple of them.
So no one took so it's been approved, but no
Yes.
one has purchased it?
That is my understanding.
Me too.
Do you want me to
because
order
I
one
think it
on
would be-
Amazon?
what's that?
Want me to just order it on Amazon and have it delivered and
I
you
think,
guys-
wasn't the question too of like securing it somewhere?
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Yeah, you can get chains or.
But
Well,
so-
no, that was one of the questions.
I think that was
I
the
don't
thing.
think, and we never actually pulled.
Yeah, because the one that I have, the ones I have are plastic and they have been known to fly off the.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
field
there's,
house deck, so they're light.
yeah.
You do-
So I guess the thing is that I thought that it would be a great idea to have one and
Yes.
put it on the field, because I went by a couple Saturdays and there was a group of people playing football out there. And if we just had a sign up there that said, no field use,
Yeah,
that would.
field's closed.
Yeah,
That's what,
field's closed.
and we had talked about maybe putting it on the intranet as well, but
I think that Mark
Yeah,
is,
3 things on that. One, yes, we get the fields, maybe order it so we can get that up there.
Just, we just want one?
yeah.
You want
Yeah.
two?
2?
2. Yeah, I think it's 2. I think one for where the sign that, and the
As you
parking lot.
enter.
Yeah, yeah. And then one either close to where the field house is or, somewhere near the handicap parking area so that, it's pretty,
Visible.
yeah.
The other, part 2 is the internet. I did call, I got transferred over to the IT guy, and we're playing that game.
Get
I just want to make
transferred
sure
to
I put it in on announcements, because there's a special category.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't want it necessarily to go to, I want it on our webpage, and not necessarily on everybody else's webpage. Does that make sense? I don't know if that's
Yes.
So
possible.
like when you go to the homepage,
Yeah.
there's news and announcements, like,
But
Yeah.
generally, sometimes they have like a rolling banner. I haven't been on our
It just
website
like
in a while.
populates.
It just changes, like fields are closed, like.
Well, I'd like to
It's
make it on
clips.
ours, so people go to the rec committee page, right there. The town does put some other stuff on it, town meetings or road closures or whatnot, but would like to keep it there so it doesn't show up if you're going to Council on Aging website and there's town news and announcements. May end up having to be that way.
So what you're suggesting is it initially rate to the town, the main town website, that, like the townnewbury.org, or will it be on our page? What are you suggesting?
I would like it on our page, so when you go to our page, it's there. That way if I make a mistake, it's not, when I make a mistake, it's not out for everybody.
Yeah, I
It's
just
on our
think, I
page.
think on top of that, that covers that, but then I also think that we had a couple storyboards up there. that-
Storyboards
Now,
and,
the other question is do we get the ones
they
that
come
have,
with letters
Yeah.
and you can
can you,
Yeah,
change whatever you want, yeah,
okay, but they're visible enough to say,
yeah, they're like a,
yeah.
like.
3-inch,
open-
3-inch.
yeah, because I didn't know, I
letters.
know that some of them are,
You just say closed.
you could use a, a
No.
wet marker or something.
No,
like that.
I
Bad
don't
idea.
think that's a good
No,
idea,
okay,
because
that's
they'll
very
just
scary,
wipe
that-
off.
Yeah,
But
I
these
mean-
ones, they're weatherproof.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's.
But the
ones
thing you
want.
need is something to hold it in place, like, so
Place.
the windows, it's windy up there.
Yeah, it is.
the other thing I was thinking about is we do have the one sign on the fields that show the layout of the field, which I think pretty much everybody
Yep,
knows
yep,
now, and you
yep.
can see the fields. If we were to buy a banner that we would secure to it.
That'd be great. That's what I
At
was
the end
thinking.
of the season, something big, here, everybody, so,
Yeah.
I mean, we're fortunate that we can reach out to the permit holders, but there are other people in the community that may not realize
Yep.
it's not good for the field, so.
Yeah, and that's what happened, and it's not like I'm gonna go up to them, they're gonna throw around a football, it's not, I wasn't gonna say, hey, I don't think you should be throwing the football around because of the field.
Well, there are a lot of people up there today for the eclipse.
Oh, cool, that's a good idea.
A lot of people.
There's eclipse there?
I was one.
I don't know,
Skipping
I don't know if
that.
it was like an organized thing, but a lot of people were reviewing.
So if you, I can look into the numbers, and, because it's not necessary for the rest of this season, but if going into the fall, that might be nice, get that up there.
Like a banner or something that goes over there?
Yeah.
Okay. And on that same note, we should eventually work on updating the sign on the road and the sign where the banner is. Or where we're planning to put the banner.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a contentious thing, but I wanna go forward with that. Anything else on that?
Is there any other place we can offer them the drying up?
I mean, what is up with that? I didn't walk up there, but I would assume the driest place is that short little section of that little odd place we try to sell out to anybody that would use it. You know, the Port Warner was gonna use it for, you know, we've got the 4 fields,
Yes.
the 2 small, that little upper area that's somewhat,
That's rounded. The only spot that would, you have the place in front of the old sledding hill, which is, Can't use-
yeah, but I'm wondering about that other one. You'd be chasing a lot of balls, but,
but down behind, on the other side of what is no longer the roadway,
Yeah.
down going towards the tarmac, that might be usable. There, we looked at auxiliary areas in the past. One of the problems is some of the coaches may be aware that this is what we can do. Other coaches may start using the field and not know there's a distinction between using the fields. Because some of the goal right now is getting the kids out there.
Right, right. I think it's either open or closed. You can't say it's open,
But
but
this-
you, even though you walk through here to use this little spot over here, you can only use that little
Yeah.
spot, but you have to pass by where,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just think it's either open or not.
that's what Kent Way would be great for.
And that's what I hope going forward, we can move forward on Kent Way, because it would give relief to the programs to get the kids out, get games in. It may not be perfect.
What's the actual address of Kentway? I know we've chatted about Kentway.
It's out the door,
Yeah, I know,
take a
but
left, and it's
is it
right there.
It's just-
11 Kentway, is it 10 Kentway, is it
If you go in the
20?
assessors, I believe it's called off Kent Way.
Off?
Kent Way, yep.
Yeah, there's, you know,
5-point-something acres.
This is Kent Way, right?
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but it's like,
It's-
this is 12 Kentway.
Right.
yeah, so
So
it's
it's like-
essentially, it's the land from, there's a property right after
No,
the
no,
gate. Yeah, but it's that whole area. out
We've conceptually talked about it, I kinda know where it is, and
Yeah.
we've talked about it, but I'm like, what is that actually called, that slice of
Parcel,
Kentway?
yeah.
So it's off Kentway, according to assessors?
Easiest access is actually go to the library park there, go across the, behind the baseball
Yep, yep.
field.
I
Yeah.
didn't think
Otherwise
it
you go
was,
through wetlands.
Yeah, no, I.
can you
we've
possibly walk out there now? I didn't think it was, last time I tried, it was like,
I haven't gone
Yeah,
out
you
there.
bring a machete.
Yeah.
You're fine, yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, we've talked about that too, machete meeting for walking it, yeah, we talked about
We can
walking.
get that when Cindy gets the storyboards.
I'll order that. That won't send up any red flags.
Maybe a couple of sickles.
But, like, can we reach out to the high school? Is that turf? I don't even know.
They
Yeah,
have their own, they have turf and they have a backfield. That's between the programs and the AD.
Yeah.
Different ADs have different philosophies of use.
And the ball fields and the baseball fields would be up limits as well.
We have no jurisdiction over
Right.
the upper green or the lower green.
So we really don't have an
I'm new
alternate
here,
spot,
yeah.
if that's,
Nope, we've been through this.
And-
yeah, as it is right now, we do not have an alternate spot.
Right.
If these fields are closed.
And part of that is, while there's space within the town, again, I hate to sound like a broken record,
Nope.
our jurisdiction, even though our mandate for the town is recreation for the town of Newbury, we only have jurisdiction over Kent Way, which is undeveloped,
And Manchester,
and
yes.
Central Street playing fields.
Yeah.
That's it. Not
Understood. Yeah.
the ball field or the 2 other ball fields. So recreation is divided up actually in this town by
Or the
3 or
library,
4
playground, or, yes, I.
3 or 4 different entities.
Yep,
Understood.
it's convoluted. right?
So, but the bottom line is, no, we don't have an alternate. If you
At
can't
this
play here,
Yeah.
it's closed, it's
And
closed.
they're responsible for finding their own place, and it's a difficult task,
Mhm. Understood. Agreed.
a sucky task.
And agreed,
In the squishy field.
I mean, we could,
agreed.
see if we can get like maybe $10 million and put all turf in that field. Turf the whole area.
You gotta put lights on, what's the number of
After the
that?
playground.
And bat lights, when we start charging big dollars. But no, I think that it's beautiful right now, and let's hope that this
It'll
next
dry
couple
out
days will
soon
dry
enough.
and grow. All right, updates on old business. Master plan update. Oh, that's me. So the master plan update. We have we've been promised 240. There might or not be around under $36,000 once they parse out all of the money to the different, or the money from the other departments comes back from the ARPA funding.
Did you say 6?
I think it's like $36,000. So we have a couple of different options.
Just so I'm straight too, so it was 248 plus.
And there's
maybe
240, I
36?
think they
No,
told us 240,
240
$240,000. And we might have an additional 36.
Oh, that makes sense.
But that's nothing is set. So I was told, nothing is set, the 240 is. And then I was told, you might try, so my couple options were discussing with them about buying the playground stuff outright. And what we do, if we wanted to do that, we buy it, we put it underneath the field house, we store it underneath the field house. And then when we get enough money or whatever, we pay someone to, or DPW will put the concrete footings down and then put the top up. That might be an option.
Quick question, did we get an itemization of what elements cost from the gentleman? I forget his name, Huntress.
No, we have not.
Okay.
And so the other part about it is if we do that route, if it has to go out to bid. So that's what they told me over and over today was that, and I don't want to sound like I'm way behind on this, but I have been asking for information for the last month.
Yeah.
And today I got some information.
Understood.
So that's one of the options, and I don't know about the bidding process, whether we say to someone, hey, because we do have a square foot area, how do you do it? Do we go back to Chris Huntress and say, hey, do you deal with purchasing just materials? Or, the town didn't want me the town did not want me to make any decision on it, or they suggested maybe going again to the grant situation. And I don't know, Mark, if you're willing or anyone's willing to approach some of our banks and ask them.
So can I actually speak to that?
Yes, absolutely.
I was speaking to Bill DeMayo, who's on the select board. He
Right.
did mention that the town requested $60,000 from the Mass House of Representatives. They've also requested $200,000 from the state senate. So those are, requests, they're not, nothing's.
For specifically this project?
But he also said he's been researching different grants with different banks, and
Yep.
if someone on the committee
I'll
wants to
talk
reach
to
out to him to give
Yeah.
him details, he's
Yeah,
happy to work on that.
they suggested,
Okay.
I was told to ask you because you seem to be the grant writer.
I'll be happy to
If,
help.
yeah, I can give you his contact info.
So, that kind of information may change the whole parameter of things, because if something like that happens, which I don't think it will, but if we got
money.
that kind of money in and we have the 240 that's ARPA money, and
Get
so we
one.
know we have that. So they said we can't do anything out the bid until it's in an account that's set away for us. So if we had the 240 and then we came up with another 200 or whatever, then we have enough money to put it out to bid, because I think his
Yes,
guesstimate
his
was
is-
450 to
yeah,
5
like
or
five.
6.
So between this, that's 5.
Yeah.
David, did you ever go back and ask him, like, hey, we have 240, what could you do with that?
Yes,
Did he
and
say
so
that to you?
I did, and he responded that, and this is where it gets, again, it's something that I don't know if we wanna get into. So yes, he could replan it so that it's 2 phases or 3 phases, but he said when you do it in those phases, the cost goes up.
Right.
It goes up, so
Yeah.
it's not, so I don't know if we wanna get into that. But I think the bottom line is, I think that we should have, one way or another, some kind of substantial thing from this ARPA money that we do, and we don't lose it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Is there enough space under the field house to store all that stuff?
Did you see the pile? You guys have been by the library, right? That pile of stuff. That wasn't a lot compared to what we would use, but I would bet we'd have space underneath there.
When I've been
A lot of
underneath
room
there,
underneath.
there's
It's two full garage space.
Yeah, and space over to the right.
Yes, and space.
And DPW is not using that for equipment or?
They had some equipment in there at
There's,
one point.
it's almost comical. It would be like,
It would depend on the time of year.
well, no, it's not even, I don't think it's a concrete floor. It's, it's just, there's stuff in there.
Yeah, there was a lot of
Stuff that
stuff.
you don't see that often, that,
It's not a concrete floor?
It might be crushed stone, I'm not
It
really
might be
sure.
crushed stone.
So there's
Yeah.
not gonna be any issue with like
The pool table?
water or anything
No, no,
ruining
no,
the
no, no,
equipment
no,
that's
no.
under there, yeah.
The pool table's going down there?
I would
This
assume-
is, stop.
Cindy and I, we banter about programs.
We don't.
And someone's offered a pool table, and someone else that we both know and love thinks it's a great idea to have a cigar bar.
Fully behind it.
Yes.
Fully behind it.
So there's like chippers and.
Yeah.
and
But enough room to store
I
whatever we
think-
need to go in.
so what,
Yeah.
we would go to like Playground World and be like, this
Yes.
is what we.
Well, I think what happens is that you can't just go to Playground World and, because I've looked into it, I looked into the commercial,
Need some.
yeah, the commercial playgrounds, and they're like $170,000 or something like that, and they say, all right, we'll give you all the stuff, you have to have someone, put footings in and whatever, so it's like, there's all the slides, everything all together, and then from that point, but we can't go to Playground World or whoever and say, hey, we wanna buy this from you, we have to put it out to bid. So I don't know what that, I've been through the bidding process with Chris Huntress, and that is like, that's where he makes his money. He sets up 7 companies, and they have to be bonded, there's a whole,
Right.
there's these parameters that are just
So it
crazy.
have to be,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a situation, I don't know if like when DPW wants a new truck, if they, they have to go through the same process, I don't
Yeah, you
know.
write the specs up.
There's a certain
Yeah.
threshold.
Yeah.
Threshold, they have to write the specs up, and then
But they
Here's
said
a
we
catalog.
can't do it until we have money in the bank, so when is
And-
that happening?
Well, we have been promised $240,000. And we may get an additional amount, and then, so, I guess the bottom line is, if we can find out, if Mark, you can, get an idea. I just don't know when that money's gonna come in, if the money's gonna come in.
The
'cause
grant money.
I've heard
Or for
about,
the-
the
yeah.
60 and I've
The
heard that.
200.
and does
Yeah,
that
I
mean
mean,
we
that might
get,
be a question that you can talk to Bill about, is there a timeline?
well, so it's gonna be,
Like, is it 2027? That's not gonna help us.
Yeah.
you
well,
know?
no, it'd be for FY '25.
It has to be purchased by the end of the year, we have to.
To use the ARPA funds, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering, like, are you talking about this would have to be by the end of this year?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that if Bill is asking the state, there's not a supplemental budget now, they'd be looking at for the fiscal year for next year. And that would be, appropriations or having that discussion now. I would not be optimistic at this juncture, revenues are down.
Right.
They're cutting things as we speak. I will talk to him, I'll keep an eye on it, but I wouldn't,
But he's also willing to do the grant process through
yeah, we
different
can go to
banks
some of
and
the banks, I don't know
stuff.
the
So
last
maybe
time
it's-
the town has asked money from, like, the institution or from the other banks.
Yeah,
It's
I
asking
just-
them-
I
they're on
just-
a rotation.
Yeah, and
Schedule.
I just feel, well, how I feel about the fact that instead of putting aside or asking the town, like whatever the budget, take money from the budget, or ask for, money from the town during town meeting for the town to pay for this and not go out and beg, because people don't wanna spend any money. You know, I know that that's the way people do things. I know that municipalities, you know, major cities get grants to do their playgrounds, and so they end up digging into their coffers for that. So maybe, you know, but I was just okay.
That might be why you're getting $36,000, because that's my leftover money from the
Yeah,
grant.
but there's,
Because we got grants.
yeah. So, Mark, you're gonna, and anyone else, you know, know anyone that's very well off that wants to give us money for a grant?
I don't.
It's a long way to go. I'm not sure if institution for savings is gonna give you.
Not much.
Well, yeah.
No, but if you
like
get
it-
a few from, you know, 3 or
We
5.
tried it with the World War II monument, and it just, everybody's like, yeah, it's a great idea. And then, you know, you can go to the Kraft Foundation or something, and it's just, it's a lot of brownies, you know, that's,
Our demographics and finances are not,
A concern.
well, no, I was gonna say that they're not, they don't attract a lot of funding. You know, we do
Yeah.
well, our
It's not
managers,
just
the
well,
town's
yeah.
done well, our schools are doing well. I know there's certain pockets of people not doing so well in town, and that's acknowledged, but compared to other cities,
Yeah,
um,
so a regular city municipality that has low-income families or low-income neighborhoods, it's easy to go out and get grant money for something, to put a park in their neighborhood, because that's easy. And people like God want to do it. I don't,
Okay, but you're going to chat
We'll-
with Bill
we'll-
and see how that
I will
goes.
work with Bill and explore the different avenues that are available and take them, as they say, to where they lead us.
now, adjectives are important, so is there a line of people who would, well, Cindy's great, she was the beginning line, she gave 36,000 back.
Yeah, no, the people I talked to today said they were just going through each budget, and it all depends on if whatever they requested decides to come through or not. So there's all these, so like there was like a $60,000 purchase that may or may not happen, there's a $40,000 purchase that may or may not happen. So,
Over the top of the 240 and the potential 36 coming back, but that's the potential. 36.
yeah, there are different departments that have a lot of money in the account and they haven't spent it.
Yeah,
So-
Tracy's been after us to
Yeah,
wrap it up so that we can give back whatever we're not using.
Yeah.
So
Just be careful, we're not giving back, we're reallocating within the town.
yes.
we're giving it back to the town.
Yeah. you-
So like
you-
Council on
yeah.
Aging is giving it back
Yeah.
to the town.
Yeah.
So all the departments got allocations.
Other people ask for
Okay,
things,
so
I went and
tidy
asked
up-
for chunk
Tidy up
money.
your accounting so that the balance sheets can balance, so that the town knows what it has.
What's left.
Yeah, and so that's essentially what we're doing. But then they said, you know,
Right, so-
wait on that, but then they also said, you know, have your
Yes,
your
while you're
video
waiting on
up.
this, start
Yeah.
exploring another venue, an avenue to get funding, which makes sense, right?
Huntress knows all this, he knows this situation.
Yes, I told them about Money West.
Dave, quick question on sequence here tonight. You know, we want to add some comments from our group. When do you want us to get involved with that? I know you guys are going through your flow and going through your list. Just trying to better understand how you want us to get involved tonight.
Let's do this. Where are we at right now? All right, I will sort of, if everyone's okay to sort of,
We'll make a motion to suspend the meeting.
yep,
I make a motion to suspend the meeting to entertain a question from an audience. Have a second?
Second.
But are we done with the master plan?
no,
No.
Okay, so
no,
we're
it's just for,
Okay, we're gonna pause it and then go back.
Yeah.
Expediency.
Makes sense.
yeah,
Yep.
We
yeah.
could go all night.
Because we
now.
could do the end of the meeting, but we'll get these guys in and out. Any discussion on this, or are we all in favor?
Yeah.
All right. So I believe Triton, not Triton, the lacrosse, Georgetown.
We're called Georgetown Triton Youth Lacrosse.
Okay.
We merged 3 years ago. Mostly Triton. We're like 80% Drayton, 20% Georgetown,
Yep.
something like that. Heavily Newbury. I think we're out of the Triton side. We're probably 40% Triton, 40% Rowley. So 40% Newbury, 40% Rowley, kind of 20% Salisbury, something like that. We've had really strong growth over the last 12 to 24 months. A lot of kids are signing up to play lax right now, which is really great work from everyone that's been involved in Triton Youth Cross and having the fields available to us and kids being able to play on these for the last 36 months and through COVID and stuff like that. We've had some great growth, and so just want to thank everyone that's been involved in the program, because it takes the whole community to drive this growth. And we're seeing great kids come out of the program. We had 2 winners last year of our what we call it, Jim? Our scholarships. Both kids you guys probably have seen before, Newbury kids that have gone through the program and have gone to college and needed help going to college. So some great stories coming out.
Can you give them a shout out, their name?
Yeah, both the names are skipping me right now, but you would know them too. Val Bones' daughter, Val Bones' niece was one of them, Paige, 2 years ago.
Okay.
Who got one of them, and then this year, the girl's going to nursing school in Maine, but it's
Julia Price.
Julie Price,
She was a goalie for Trenton High School.
with Triton High School, yep, and
Braden,
Yeah.
that's his last name.
McDonald.
Holy.
yes, yeah, Braden McDonald, thank you guys. So Braden went to UMass, going to UMass, doing civil engineering, I believe.
Yep.
And Julie's doing nursing at
St. Joseph's.
St.
Joe's.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's a Shores daughter.
So really good, some good outcomes, good stories, and we have our largest group of littles ever. So we've got like 40 boys in between pre-K and K, and I think we've
Oh
got
my God, yes.
yeah, it's a lot. A ton of girls too. We only got like 30 girls that are pre-K and K this year. These are numbers that we have not seen before as a club in the 20 years I've been the club's been around, 20, 30 years, and then I've been around with it for 6 to 7, something like that. And Mark, you've probably seen it. I don't think you've seen 70 littles that young running around like pre-KK. So it's a lot of little monkeys running around. But all really good stuff, and great growth. And so the club is growing, is expanding, and there's more of a groundswell around lacrosse right now. And so our need for Mantor is never been greater, right? Our need for the fields has never been greater. Our costs for going other places to get field space, with all inflation, have increased drastically. So in preseason, we try to get some indoor space just to get hands on sticks, and so these littles know what they're doing before they go to the first game, and those costs just keep ratcheting up. And so this year, with kind of being down, we're gonna be down 2 weeks, no outside time. We're trying to supplement that with some inside, so they're not going to the games blind into other towns and getting some experience. And we're having to supplement that. So we're digging into our backup coffers right now. I think we spent around $1,500 for this week to just have the kids be able to play other places, and we got lucky getting space. I begged just the Pine Grove School to let us use it on Saturday, so my 3-4s could have a little stick time before they played their first game on Sunday. We've been just trading off wherever we can to get a little space, and it's getting very expensive, and we're very much running low on funds. Even though we have more kids coming in, we try to charge the lowest amount we can as a town program to let families enter into the youth program. This is youth sports, this is not club. Our idea is to get as many people involved to get to recreate in this sport in the spring, right? So our job is to get more local folks getting the ability to play lacrosse. If kids don't have pads, we give them pads. If they don't have sticks, we give them sticks. If they can't afford a uniform, we pay for the uniform. We find a way. And so we're really looking to you as a group, as an organization, to help us right? We need your support in getting field space. We need your support in getting us on the grass, and we need your support, if not, to help us with the funding side of it. Like if we're not using the fields, we need some kind of way to get that back, get that cash back from not using it, so we can put it into some kind of indoor space in the time and give these kids a way to play. So it's a real problem. It's a super bummer. None of us control Mother Nature, so like it's life. But it's here right now. And obviously, we were talking about pickleball before and not being able to play. I mean, look what the Red Sox have done. They pushed their schedule out, I think, 3 weeks, which is crazy. So like they pushed out 3 weeks so they can have more availability or have their space available in better weather, right? So I don't want to speak to climate change, but something's changing, and and so big major league sports are making changes. Who knows what that means for us? What it does mean for us right now is that we're not playing lacrosse, and we're spending more money just to get kids inside at gyms and other private places that will give us time to play. So we sent an email out earlier today. Jen sent an email out asking if there's a way that we can not pay for the first couple weeks that we're not using the fields and not on the field, so we can use that to help pay some of these costs that we're seeing this week by putting the kids in other places. Listening to you guys talk about the fields and talk about your opportunities to supply more recreation, I would hope that there's ways that you could take some of those funds and see if there's ways to invest in Mansur. Maybe it being in drainage, maybe it being in more like plugging the fields and aerating the fields, maybe it's more fertilization or seed to make them more robust so they're not so supplemented to get squishy and get soft and be in the conditions they are today. I know there's fields all around, like in Governors and at Pingree as examples, that there are grass fields right now that are being used. They do hold off, and they try to manage it like you guys are, protect the field. We want to protect the resource too. We are your allies in this because we need the fields all the way through June, right? So we don't want to ruin fields today to not have fields in 2 months. But just coming to you and really, I hope you guys listen, like we need your help and support for a growing thing that's only going to drive better results and better outcomes for your town. All these kids, like the kids I've talked about in the beginning, those kids are going off to college and great opportunities. You're going to bring it back to this town. And great athletes and great kids that do well through these programs and become great leaders, like those are the kind of kids we need, around. And lacrosse is one piece of that. Obviously soccer is a piece of that, these other sports are a piece of that, but lacrosse really is a piece of that. Like youth sports, it starts now. And if we give them the springboard to go to high school, gain confidence in that sport, and then they go off and they go to college, and they're balanced athletes, they're balanced kids, and boom. And next thing you know, you got kids like this young man, supporting the town, which is fantastic, right? We need more and more of that. So, different kids have different things. Some kids play sports, some kids support in other ways. This is a youth program that we need your help with. So,
First thing, I made a mistake. Could you state your name and your organization for
Yep,
the record?
John Vogel, I'm the Vice President of Georgetown Triton Youth Lacrosse. I've been with the program 7 years, Mark. It's been a while, COVID is confusing. I have 2 kids. My daughter goes to Triton right now, she's 13. Her name's Ella Vogel. My son goes to Pine Grove, his name's William. They both play in the program. They also do other sports in town. We're big Triton folks.
So I don't believe we can vote on this tonight because it wasn't on the agenda. But some thoughts on it. I think in the future we may hold off when we open the fields, just because we run into situations like this. I think we have to take some time and discuss it next meeting.
I'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah, so that we can figure out how we can do this. Because as far as the committee goes, we could suggest things, but I think we have to have town managers or the town give us a yay and nay on this.
Yeah, there's a couple things. One, The April 1st is an arbitrary date that came up prior to most of us being on the board.
Yeah.
And talking to the prior chairperson, it's just an easy day to remember. You know, we hope that, you know, the 1st as opposed to 23rd, because that's gonna fall on April 1st. That's the day we're gonna try to get them open, and it's always been a try to.
And we've had snow a week before it opens, it's just.
Yeah.
That aligns with the start of spring sports, so like that
Yeah.
date, like typically the next 7 days later, you typically have your first games for soccer
Well, that-
and for lacrosse.
Yeah, many of the programs will do that, but for, in terms of our fields, that's what we said, yeah, we will try. We, like you said earlier, we have no control over Mother Nature, and we wanna be able to make sure the fields last for the season, but also go into the fall season, because, working with DPW, depending on the summer, again, we don't know. Last summer, there would be times where you could repair fields. Summer before, there was nothing happening. It was just too hot.
Yeah.
No matter how much irrigation you did to support the new growth, it wasn't happening. So we just don't know what the weather is. And you know, I certainly empathize, and as I said in the letter, I've been in different positions as a parent. I want my kid out of the house, playing sports.
Yeah.
You know, and coach, I've done the scheduling stuff, and it's hard when you have a bunch of teams that you're trying to find a space for. I know some I don't know, soccer, who used to get 2 blackout dates and they knew all the games of first games of the year are played on turf. They just knew that.
Yep.
And let's not try and hope. Let's just schedule the first 2 weeks. And I would ask that you
We go to our league and we say no,
Yeah.
no by field, and we try
Yeah.
to go to May, right? So we really try to do everything we can do. Still gotta get out there and practice, hopefully, right? Hopefully Mother Nature works, but if there's some proactive things we can do to this field to give it more strength or give it more viability for early in the season, if there's more drainage that we can do, or if there's another field, like if you guys have this spot, I didn't really know much about that, I hadn't heard much about that before, but if there's a spot that it sounds like you have some funds too, I mean, that would be an amazing use of funds to open 2 more fields. You could stamp the name of the Newbury Rec Committee on it and say, hey, we just opened 2 more fields for this growing sport. Soccer's growing too, both girls and boys. So it'd be a huge recreational benefit to the area.
Yeah, there's a lot of good things there, go ahead.
Yeah, I find, I think we've all been through it, and, we've done things like, I've had girls softball, and we couldn't play because there wasn't a field, so we played inside a horse barn, it was like, that's what we had to do. We understand. So let me,
I just have a couple of quick questions. So you had mentioned drainage, possible seeding and repair. I know that there's fertilizer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I know that there's seeds, because I see the bill. Is that a defined schedule? Does
Yes,
that all
yes.
get
Yeah.
reviewed?
Yeah.
And what about the drainage consideration?
drainage, they built the fields in that way, too.
I am not aware that they do any aeration of the fields. They're not really truly compacted as other fields. It's been many years. It's not like you have a lot of tractors going on it or whatnot. I will talk to DPW, or we can talk to DPW to see if that can be added to it. It just means there's a certain time of year that you really want to do it,
Right.
which means you can't use the fields, or you're going to have little clumps there because they're not, I doubt, we have the manpower to rake it all out and put fill in, or topsoil in those holes. It's not really effective to do it during the heat of the summer.
Yeah,
Right.
we're,
Right, so there's if you
Yeah,
want that
there's a
done,
point.
here's a time of,
There's like a perfect time, I'm sure.
yeah, we're constrained by DPW and how they do the fields. And they've done a, amazing job considering how crazy the weather has been. And we've, as long as I've been here, and we've run the same situation like many times where we couldn't run the fields. And
yeah, this is not the first time this has ever happened.
I mean, we had
2
an
years.
April Fool's storm one time, and it was just like,
Yeah.
there's nothing we can do.
But yeah, we can always talk to DPW, talk to them about other options. The fields, when they were built, are designed as fields with a permeable layer to help drain. People may not see it,
Yeah, it's a
but
slight-
they're all
it's-
crowned.
they're slight.
That's why we can't move the fields in
Right,
any
right,
direction.
Yeah.
You'll see the drains at the far end. And I know that they're working because that area is always wet.
Right, right.
So they are draining not fast enough.
Yeah, but it's, 8 inches of rain, that are more than what we normally
Right,
have, so
right.
there's nothing we can do, I don't believe.
I mean, is it worth, would you like us as a group, we have the most Newbury residents we've ever had in our group ever. Would you like us to send a letter to the DPW asking for more? Should we reach out to selectwomen and say, hey, we'd really like some more support, on this? Like, we're happy to be your soldiers. We have a large voice and a huge group of folks. So we're happy to work for you guys and to help, drive change and drive real impact for you as a community. Like, you have a community group that is tied in and locked in with you, right? We're hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder. So if you need to get something done and we want to make change, we're partners. We
Yeah,
work
well,
with you.
I just don't know, and as far as the field goes, the drainage, I just don't know, I don't know how much we can do. Because
Yeah.
everything, budget constraints, I mean, this is what we deal with year after year. But yes, we can have a conversation with DPW, and they've always been, there was an issue last year with a hole somewhere, and they said, let us know, we'll take care of it. So I think if you let us know, if you send us every week or whatever, say, hey, we've got a problem here, we can go straight, we can call them up and say, hey, can you do this? And we'll figure out what, and if you have any other ideas, I have no problem calling and asking.
Well, it's sort of like when you ask Nick, we'll get to you in just a second. It's like the mowing, the schedule of the mowing. It's one of those, most people don't realize it's important when they mow. Because if they mow on Monday, the grass grows all week. And by the time you get to Sunday and it's a nice spring like we've been having, and the grass grows, you can't see the ball. And then they cut it again, and they will have lined the fields that Friday, and then they come in and they'll cut it on Monday, so you're losing, it's not coordinated. So my question is Thursday or Friday, when possible, sometimes they can't do it because of the rain.
Yep.
Yeah, Thursdays, Fridays are great, and they've been doing that last year, I think the year before, so I mean, that partnership's been fantastic, right?
Yeah.
We're definitely, we're looking for more, we're looking for more attention to the fields and getting them drained, attention to these fields and getting them solid, and we're here to back you in any way to help get that done, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can always reach out to the DPW, they have an administrative office there, and just say, hey, you don't have to directly come to us. You can say, hey, we're Triton, we're Georgetown Triton.
GT Lax.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, and just, send them an email, because they're so great about it. I'll have to say, the DPW is wonderful. I sent out 4 emails today, and they responded to every single one of them. So yeah,
We had talked last year about getting a pile of loom kind of thing. I mean, just, these are things that we.
Yeah.
That would be the beginning of the
Something
season. Fields
proactive.
are open, so if there is a ankle breaker,
Yeah,
they can fill it in on the spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I think we talked about it just as I was coming on the board last
Yeah.
year, and I'm like, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Would it make sense to get like the head of the DPW at one of these meetings like in the next month or two and try to get some synergy going? Is that something that might
I
try to involve
can
them?
reach out.
You can invite him, but we'll see what he says,
Yeah.
yeah.
I can reach out to him.
Okay.
You're better off walking the field during the day.
Yeah, I think that this DPW group is amazing from my experience so far in town. It's just, they're just heads over heels just getting stuff done. So yeah, I'll reach out.
Okay.
And just, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Nick Moritz, part of Georgetown Triton,
Yep.
Cross, Newbury resident. Who determines if we can use the field? Is that DPW and or you guys walking the field and determining that?
So-
what can be used?
Mark and I, especially this time of year, will walk the fields.
Okay.
And so basically what happened with this scenario was Mark and I walked the fields and we both said, pretty wet. And
Yes.
yeah, so I said, I'll call DPW and have a chat with them because they know the fields. And so I had a call and they said, yeah, it's not a good idea to play on.
So, can we get the contact information? I think we asked for that last year, I don't think we ever got it, for the DPW crew.
Okay, it's DPW admin, but I can tell you that right now.
Thank you. And then can we email them on, like, are the fields, Mark sent an email to you and Jen were corresponding.
Yeah.
So are the fields closed for the week of the 15th to the 7th to the, the 8th to the 15th? Or is it closed as of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Like, what's the schedule right now for what's
I'm not
closed?
putting any date on it, 'cause what I've done in the past, and we have done in the past, is we have a general idea of what DPW is looking for. If I take it out my canoe on the field, I'm not gonna call them up and say, hey, get in my canoe and paddle, because it's wet.
I understand that, but I'm just asking,
So-
is it, when you guys emailed Jen today saying?
I, as a courtesy,
Right,
I mean, I did that as a courtesy to say to people, look, I'm on this.
right, so I'm asking before, who makes the call? And then you
DPW
guys
makes the call to
do
open
the-
up for the season.
Right, the whole season?
For this season, and here's what happens. We, again, in our guidelines, DPW makes the call for the season, opens it up for the season. We can then turn around and close it. If we have 3 days of rain and there's time to bring the canoe out, we can close it and determine when it gets opened up again. All right, what also happens if people use the field and they damage it when it's because the conditions were not suitable, or somebody gets, streaks it up, we can go in and shut it down so they can repair it right away. Other places, I've talked to people in other departments, this is a very progressive one. Usually the DPW or the Parks Department will make that call for everybody. We're asking you to be stewards in the care and longevity of the fields.
Right, and we've listened to you guys, I'm just trying to get a game plan of
Okay.
when, so it's been communicated to us that the fields are not open yet.
They're not open yet.
All right,
Yeah, if
so
you-
are we able to call DPW on Friday, or are we waiting for, because it sounds like DPW can open the fields, but you guys have to give the thumbs up to clubs to use them, is that correct? That's what I just heard from Mark.
If,
I hear what you're
DPW can
saying,
open
that's
them.
not exactly what I said, but
Well,
close enough,
what's the
close enough.
difference? What's the
Basically,
difference between
I'm
what I
the one
just
who's
said?
communicating to the teams when I get the word from it. I'm going out there as a courtesy to say,
That's,
Look.
but what
Okay.
I'm asking right now is that you just said that DPW
makes
makes
the
the
call.
call.
Yeah.
And then you guys as a committee have the final say that even though it's open, because we just got 3 days of rain, we don't feel like it's appropriate to use the field. I completely agree with that. So I'm asking right now, the fields are closed, we are absolutely abiding by that, we wanna make sure we're using the fields correctly. If it doesn't rain a lot over the next couple of days, if we get no rain or it continues to be dry, we have practices that were scheduled for Saturday, we've canceled, or we're hoping that we can do them, but if you guys say no, we totally understand.
yeah, we're hoping Saturday will be open.
So, yeah, Saturday would be better than Sunday, but Sunday, knowing that there's games, because you can always reschedule a practice, or I have a practice, I know what it's like to have to reschedule a game, and you
Yep.
can't find a field, and the costs of, Triton is now, I don't know how much it is per hour. I remember having to go to Triton and beg to
Right.
get those fields.
Oh.
I understand that,
Yeah.
if they're available. So,
Yeah.
Sunday, understand that, yes, we're trying to do whatever the weather
All right.
gives us.
And that's all I was trying to ask, and I'm sorry if I came off differently, because I wasn't sure if you guys were saying it was closed from today's April 8th to the 15th, and so like that's what I was trying just to gauge.
Yeah.
It's a day-to-day.
It's more day to day.
Day-to-day and-
To give you guys some more pretense about that, like why Nick is trying to understand, he's seeking to understand, is because, we have to reach out to parents.
Yep.
And we get on silly apps and we have to reach out to them, they've got all a million schedules, they're juggling their family balls, up there. And when we throw a curveball the last time, it means only half the kids make the practice.
Right.
And those other half don't. Nick's trying to run his teams, get those kids on there as much as he can, parents are coming back at us like, you know, what the heck, what's going on? And so that's the juggle we're in right now. And so obviously, the sooner you can give us information, easy to just pass that information on, and that's helpful with scheduling, helpful for all these families to get about their daily lives.
I completely understand and hear what you're saying, and I think that's probably part of what our prior discussion was chit-chatting about, the little sandwich board, and more importantly, having that communication method with the IT team, so that instead of waiting for an email,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like clicking, is it refreshed, is it
Yeah,
refreshed, is it
exactly.
open, is it open? So I completely hear what you're saying, and certainly makes sense that if there's a way to communicate it with an IT informational banner, then that way you're not waiting on information, you can go and self-serve, if you will,
Yeah, and that may
and
be
see that
the best
yourself.
thing to do is
So-
we'll have, if we get an okay from DPW, we'll do something. Once we
I
get
send it
this-
out, once I
yeah,
get
yeah.
information, I send it
Send it out.
again.
Yeah, that.
Um,
And then we can put a sign up and they can send it back to the town.
I'm not sure, I think we wanna say we're closed, but I don't think we wanna say we're open, because what if they're not ready?
No, they're open as of, we have an opening date,
Yeah.
and right now the fields are closed. So either the sign goes up,
We're
fields
open
are
for the
closed,
season, period.
period,
Then
that
there's,
if
then
they're
there's,
closed, you put up a sign that says, we're closed
When we
because
get
of
the-
this.
yes.
Yeah, and then you take that down, not that it's back open, it's like, we're closed, we're closed, we're closed. When that closed sign is down, then you're open by default, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Does that make sense to you guys too? Okay.
Can I just bring, Jen Lucier, Georgetown Triton Eagle Cross, piggybacking on this whole closure thing, I think it's very important that we discuss next meeting, if we can get, some sort of credit reimbursement. Cause if we're looking at 2 weeks of Mancher Field being closed, that's about $1,400 cost to our program for not using a field that's close to us. And we've gone to indoor space, which is very expensive,
Yeah.
to, I mean, we are a nonprofit
Yeah,
volunteer organization serving the community.
so we've, as a committee, we've gone through the whole pricing of fields and we know that we're way on the low side compared to other.
That's
Yeah.
understandable,
So-
we understand.
So we're
but-
trying to, I guess the bottom line is we wanna, exactly, and I'll discuss it with the town manager, we'll come back and we'll have discussion on it, next meeting, we'll put it on the agenda about, refunds. And I guess the bottom line is we just wanna keep the fields in use, and they're great fields,
And-
but yeah.
You know, we have no problems, like, I mean, we rent 7 days a week the fields, and we don't use them 7 days a week. We give them rest days, and we do that because, you know, we don't want to tear up these fields, so we don't, you know, we rent them on 7 days a week, but we don't, you know, we have practice on one side of the one field
Yeah,
on Saturdays, the other one's rested. We rest them every other week for game, like, you know, we're not using them every
Yep.
Sunday, we do rest them. We pay the cost to rent them on the weekends so we can rest these fields. I mean,
Yeah, and I don't know that we wanna go down the debate, Dave, of like, you know, cost in sports,
Yeah.
because especially the town, talking about Newbury residents, in essence, they're paying twice, right? Which is not good for any youth sport or anything. Like, I get it if you're like an outside, you know, venture that's utilizing, but for like town sports, it's just, it's not a good look, full stop. On the cost associated with, you know, utilizing, you know, taxpayer-funded fields that taxpayers are using.
Yeah,
That-
and we've had this discussion before, and it sort of comes down to the fact that, yes, it's more me than some of the other past members, but I always look at it like, yes, it is Triton Youth Sports, but what happens is, there's a certain amount of Newbury people, but there's also Raleigh, Salisbury people that are also, their towns are not funding our DPW keeping the fields.
Sure.
So we have to think of that. So it's just, it's not, you know, it's not cut and dry.
no, and we're okay with paying for the fields,
Yeah.
it's just we haven't used these fields.
Yeah, and that's,
So I don't understand why we have to pay, like, we have to pay for fields that we can't get on, and then we have to go and rent indoor space just to get these kids, I mean, we have so many kids in our program, just to get them like, so they can throw a ball, like they don't, like I had one little girl crying at the game on Sunday because she was so overwhelmed because we haven't had many practices, and she was like, I don't know what to do, and I'm like, I am so sorry. I was like, your job is to just stand on this side of the field, get the ball, and just shoot towards the goal. Like, I don't want my kids to be overwhelmed, we are
Yeah.
doing the best we can to get
No,
them.
I totally
practices,
understand where you
and-
guys are coming from, I totally understand, and it's kind of, it's a, you know, a nature situation where, you know,
Yeah,
like
and it's
none of us, but we've dealt with this so many times before in the past, that it may be something that we look at next year and just move the season up, you know, 2 weeks,
And
because.
yeah, I think we've learned from this process, like April 1st is not a guarantee. We will make adjustments with our parent league, Massachusetts Youth Lacrosse, and push for our games to be on turf. You know, unfortunately, we only have access to one turf field
Yep.
for now, so we are trying to find other spaces.
Yep.
And we'll make adjustments for next year.
Yeah,
I'm just
so
saying,
look-
this is just something we didn't budget for, to pay all this extra.
So I'll have a conversation and find out, I'll talk to select board members and the town manager. What is Tracy called now? Town administrator. And I'll ask her about what, because I don't think it's something that we can make the decision on. But when I get that information, if it's cut and dry, I'll let you know. And if it isn't, then we'll have, you know, if she leaves it up to us to make the decision, then we'll just have a discussion about it.
It's on the agenda for next week.
Next month.
Or next month, yeah.
Yeah.
And tying on to guys, like, we just need your help.
Oh, yeah, no, Mark's been in the lacrosse business for a lot longer than I have, so, I trust his knowledge on field usage
And John spoke to the growth of our program. We have grown tremendously. We have a lot of, like he said, pre-K and kindergartners. I think next year, already we have 2 teams at almost every level for the boys team. The girls program, we're about to burst, so we will be having 2 teams at each level, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We're definitely growing, and we can help, if there is other space where you want to develop a field somewhere, definitely fundraising, stuff, we can be a partner in all that, we can help try to find grants, we can try to find, we can help do those things. We definitely see our program growing and growing, especially seeing all the pre-K and K kids that signed up this year. We didn't have any last year. And to get a groundswell of almost 50 kids sign up, it is just unheard of. So we're definitely growing, and if we're, we would love to help open up other fields if
Yeah,
possible,
we've
and
been,
we
that's
can
something we've
definitely
been looking
help.
at for years, and we
And
really
you
wanna.
guys shared with us last year as well, some of the same concerns.
Yeah.
So, we're definitely hearing them, and we definitely wanna obviously work to make it better for everyone. How many kids did you say again signed up?
We have over 200 kids.
We have 232 kids in our program right now.
Yeah, littles, I think it's 30 boys and 20 girls, something like that. I mean, that's pre-K, that's pre-KK, that is little kids, little mites. And we've got, just a great groundswell of parents that are willing to work for this community to drive better outcomes around this.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it really is, it's all community, it's not individuals, right? So as a group, we can really get some cool stuff done. If I wanna go I can only barely move half a tree these days, 44, right? So it's but as a group, we can tear down a forest and build new fields for the kids that have been sitting there doing nothing, right? So we're happy to support that in whatever way you need us to. Let us know, you've got some passionate people behind me that are really passionate about the sport, and I'm here to support, as well, so.
Yeah,
Thank you for those numbers. I like to know what the numbers are.
Yeah, no, talk to NES, it is some good stuff going on out of Newburyport Elementary School,
NES.
or out of Newbury Elementary School, yeah, it's really good. The parent group out of Newbury Elementary is awesome.
I wish I went to 12th grade.
Yeah, yeah, I know, it's just a great group.
Yeah,
So,
great school.
Yep.
yeah, we all went through that, that's a great school. All right,
Thanks
yeah.
for listening to us. Do you want us to give you
Oh,
back?
yeah, I'll give you that.
I know you guys
Sorry,
got a lot to
I-
do.
I-
don't know.
I lost the train
I-
of thought here. So it's dpw.admin, ADMIN, @townofnewbury.org. So it's dpw.admin, ADMIN.
Yeah, we found it on the website.
Awesome,
Yeah,
Thank you
awesome.
so much.
Annette,
Again, they're.
Annette, sorry.
Annette.
Yeah, Annette. And Annette is really
She's
responsive,
wonderful.
and they're great people,
She's
so, I can't say enough about it. And so we'll try to make this work one way or another.
Thank you.
So whatever we can do on our end, we'll do, you know, with whatever the town tells us we can and can't do.
Thank
So, all right,
All right.
Thank you very much.
absolutely.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
and if
Yeah.
you give us, if you wanna be on the agenda,
I got it right here.
yeah, no, I'm just saying, give us, I think, what is it, 3 days, 4 days before?
Yeah, I usually put the agenda together on Monday before our Monday before the scheduled meeting.
So like if we usually do like the first of the month, around that time, first or the second week of the month. But if we know, like a week before, that you guys wanna discuss stuff, send us an email, and if we can fit in, we'll put an agenda and we can discuss it.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah, and then that way we can at least, like,
Put you in order.
yeah, I could have, reached out to people beforehand and had some solid information for you tonight, so.
Thank
And
you.
did we address everyone, like, right?
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right, just a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the time tonight, guys.
Absolutely. So, do you guys know who this guy is?
No.
Courtney has met him.
We met,
Do I say Mark?
It's Mike.
Mike.
Yep.
I like Mark myself, but that's
Yeah,
just
It's
so
me.
it's MYK.
Yeah.
We met him, I know I'm throwing the schedule off here.
Oh,
We
can we
met-
just vote to go back, or we still suspend?
Yeah, let's,
Let's do this. Do that because it's part of the suspension, and then we'll go back.
yeah, so, so we met Mike at, when we were discussing the master plan with the select board. And he showed interest in joining the group.
Good.
oh, sweet.
Yeah.
And you still invited him?
And it was great.
Good.
So, cause, yeah.
We're coming up for
So-
renewals.
So, yeah,
and
someone's
we're
gonna
coming
need
up-
it, someone's gonna need a new chairman soon, I think, but, no.
So if you are not aware, I'll let you know. In a short time, a call will go out for people to serve on the board. You submit your application, resume, qualifications, all that stuff. Basically, you're a resident and you're interested.
Yeah.
And the important thing is, we'll need to watch the select board meetings of when they're appointing people.
And-
And you need to be present at that meeting. Once you get selected, you don't have to be present to be renewed.
Yeah, so, from what I was told today, send in a letter to the, you don't have to send a letter, you can email
Just
the
email,
select,
yeah.
select board and say you would like to
They're
be on the
interested
committee.
in joining the
Yeah, and I
recommend.
think it's pretty,
It's that simple.
And
Yeah,
they'll be like,
yeah.
cool, come to the meeting,
Yeah,
and then they'll
yeah.
appoint you.
And you want to be the clerk and treasurer.
yeah. No.
That's an important part,
Chairperson. Chairperson. I'm gonna take his seat, I'm taking the Triton Youth. Yeah, so anyway, let's suspend the suspension and return back to.
Make the motion.
I second that motion.
All
All right, I don't know where we're at, so the
Master plan.
master plan, let's find out what kind of money we might be able to get our hands on, and we'll go from there, because we can discuss this all night long about money. And
So Mark is gonna reach out to Bill.
Bill.
yeah, and if you guys know anybody that's very affluent that has money to
Yeah.
let,
We will certainly let you know.
I do, but I
I'm
can't.
check my lottery tickets and live.
I know.
I do, but I can't. I wish I knew a couple weeks ago. Anyway, master plan, pickleball update. I think we went over that. Do we have to go anything more? Ping pong's going well, correct?
It's not as well attended as pickleball.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
But
still
there's
growing.
There's a core group
Yeah,
that are,
no, not that I'm hard recruiting, but it's now turned into a little core group.
which is nice,
Well, so it'd be like pickleball year one,
right,
that was a success, and it's how do we march to the
Right, it'll
the
grow.
next level? I'm not sure ping pong's gonna grow, because we had a couple of times, there were 12, 13, 14 people in there, and it was terrific, but a lot of people didn't come back after that. I'm like, what did we do wrong? Newburyport, which I use as the gold standard now, they've got maybe four
are they in that big room on the side?
they're in the big
there?
room on the side, 4 tables, so there's at least 16 people.
Oh, there's a lot of room,
Well, they have
We
room
have
we
2
don't
tables,
have,
right?
absolutely, but it just, in terms of, if that's their regular number, then I don't think we can hope to get 24 people.
I think I don't know if for certain, but I thought they did something with the Parkinson's Foundation too.
That's part of their program.
So, but they might be pulling people in from outside.
I think it's one of the
Particularly for
attractions, the people, because I think that the Parkinson's people are like the hour before they start, so people show up early and help with the Parkinson's group.
And we have 2 tables, right?
We have 2 tables, yeah.
And it works fine, space-wise.
It fits, we could probably squeeze another one in, but we want to put one in Cindy's office.
Why not?
For those
You
meetings.
have a ton of space in there, I saw that table.
Ton of space.
You could use it as a dining table.
I did
Okay.
have a, although maybe I should wait.
No, go
New
ahead.
business.
Go ahead.
I had a senior approach me about horseshoes. And my concern is, I said, well, we don't have any pits, and
What
I
about
don't know if
cornhole?
that's something, what's that?
Cornhole.
I have cornhole, I have a cornhole set that we'll eventually use inside. I can't use outdoor space without approval here, because it's rented space. So like my event tomorrow, I had to go through a process to get approval to, so I can't just take the
What's the event tomorrow?
cornhole.
Wait a minute, I didn't get invited
It's
again.
game night tomorrow night,
Oh.
and it is opening day at Fenway, so we got a food truck. So
Oh.
if you'd like to
Oh.
come by, it'll be fun. But I can't just do that kind of stuff. So as far as horseshoes, I don't know if that's something that
We have space.
you'd be interested at Central Street or somewhere else. I know the concern is also, at least for me, because I have dogs and I have a child, she's 18, but like you're walking and someone's
there's
gonna
a
get
big
impaled on,
thing.
so I know it has to be something
And
separate.
that's 5 points.
It has to be separate and probably fenced in and whatever, I don't know, but I don't know if it's something that you're willing to entertain.
I think if you had a pit, and pits are, well, defined, because usually it's wood, and sand
Okay,
on either side.
so there's wood around it, I don't know, because I'm not a
Yeah,
horseshoe.
It's
yeah.
generally wood around it,
Yeah.
but there's the metal post.
Yeah, but that, I mean, if you have wood,
Yeah.
and sand, it's usually a sign that,
Don't go near there,
yeah.
unless you're playing horseshoe.
And, the other thing, we could probably have a lawn dart game, you might be able to do that with the seniors. The big lawn darts that you used to throw
Oh,
out.
that's fun.
Yeah,
Catch.
So I just didn't know if it was
Catch-
something
catch
that you'd be open to,
absolutely.
Let's look into that, or other field,
type,
type things, because I
Games.
think the cornhole is a great idea. I wish we would have some that we could just leave out.
yeah, my boards you can't leave outside.
Yeah, that are weather
Resistant.
resistant, that they're available, that we would support the library and put a couple down there so it's available and here.
Yeah,
And,
horseshoes at the
oh, let's
library.
leave them up at, well, we don't have jurisdiction, up at, what's that place called? The Upper Green. And leave the beanbags at the police station, just grab them there. But the idea is have opportunities like
To play
that for
different
families without having to lug their own and get them out of their own backyard. Because most of us could fit it in our backyards, almost can't.
Yeah, I think that the fields, the substitute fields or library would be a nice location.
The beach.
Yeah. Okay, well, we should look into that. We'll table that until the next meeting,
Thank you.
and then we can,
You want to just check prices? Cindy?
To put in
I know
bids.
you like to shop online.
no,
I'm very good at it.
yeah.
Procurement.
Maybe lawn darts and cornhole.
I was kidding about the lawn darts.
No, for senior center.
No, the one that's, they've been
They're-
outlawed for
they're
like
outlawed
20 years.
now.
They were the
My
things that had.
grandmother
No,
had
but
Jack.
they know, yeah, I don't mean,
What's the
yeah,
name?
yes, I don't
Jack?
mean those.
Axe throwing.
Axe throwing, yeah.
Oh,
I have an
yeah.
Axe throw, we had an axe catching.
Axe throwing is so cathartic.
It's cathartic.
It really.
All right.
Come by my house.
All right, 'cause he's gonna kill us in about 2 seconds. He's like.
I'm tired too,
All right,
It's late.
water bubbler. Oh, that was me. So I called DPW again and again, and they said they are still waiting for the plumber to come up with a quote.
Can fix
So
Break it
they said
through.
they will push them, so that's the latest and greatest on that. Senior tax credit, I think we discussed it. Is that you, Cindy?
Well, John, you were talking about someone for pickleball.
Yes,
A job description?
yes, I have one that Cindy looked at and sent to you. Okay.
Oh, maybe I did get something from you.
It was like right after the last meeting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, I was right on it, before I forgot
I
about
bet
it.
it's something to do with ping pong. Sorry.
And your,
I probably
mine
read it.
is still the old 2122 is your, still.
It's still the old one?
Yeah, yeah. So this was just.
I thought I updated that, I'll look.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Yeah, so this is first draft on.
I think I might have done the wrong one.
That's tax credit.
Yeah, well, you did one job description, right?
Yeah, I had them in order. I was gonna do it right. Ben, you're coming. So just comments. Where do we go?
Field
If someone comes knocking
coordinator.
at your door?
So they would come to me, I have an application process they would go through.
Yeah.
Corey, all that kind of stuff. And if they're interested in doing this.
So, yeah.
So I have to go through the town assessor to make sure that they qualify for the program.
And then
for
the
their
personnel
property.
board.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know if I have to go through the personnel board for volunteer.
I think we had a plan on something like that, yeah.
For volunteer position?
So I've got the tax credit thing here, but the numbers changed, right? Did you
Yeah,
say?
the total is $2,000 for, I think it's 133 and a third hours,
105 for 1,500, so it's $2,000 for,
133 and a third hours, I
133.
believe. And then it's prorated, so if you don't do the full 133 and a third hours, you do half of that, you get half the job.
yeah.
Are they required, because I think in one of the towns I was looking at, it doesn't necessarily have to be consecutive weeks, it could be 10 weeks in the spring and then 10
They
weeks in
just
the
keep
fall.
track of their time.
Yeah, so we wouldn't, if we didn't need them during the summer, we could say spring till this period, summer off, or summer. If we get multiple people interested and we have the need, we could have 2 people break it up, correct?
Mhm. But if you break it up, you might limit the person's ability to get the full tax credit.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, we have that much of a need, if we
Okay.
have X number of hours that one person can't fill.
Okay.
Well, and there's 2 ways of looking at it. Do we want that person on site the whole time? Like, someone shows, I'm thinking you could show up at 8:30 and then come back at 12:30 and break it down, or do we keep them there the whole time to make sure if people come late, they sign up to? The idea here is someone
Yeah.
shows up.
Opens and closes.
Opens it up, takes the equipment out,
Yeah.
take one of these 2 minutes.
That's the master plan. I
Yeah,
don't know if you saw that, that was the night we presented.
this is what we're talking about, and that's the tax credit.
What's the average number of hours?
It varies, so we have a guy who works at the DPW department in the summer. He gets his full amount of hours. I have a couple of women that do, they're retired nurses, they do home visits with a couple of our seniors. They don't, they get real close. I have other people that do volunteering with us, you know.
Oh, no.
But then I have other people who do a few things, and they take, 16 hours for the whole year. I mean, the goal is to get the full amount. If it were me doing it, I'd want the full
Or-
amount, but I also don't always have a ton of hours. This is a nice opportunity You know, people come knocking on my door and it's not necessarily something they wanna do. I have, the police department wants to have a senior property tax volunteer at the parking lot on Plum Island for the summer. They're not enforcement, they're just saying, this is a sticker lot, you can't park here. And then the person drives right by them and parks in the lot, no big deal. They just
Or they
call the police,
go, or
they
they
just,
leave, yeah.
and they just call the police department and say, someone parked in the lot.
So how
And the
old-
police come down and get it.
How old do you have to be?
You have to be 60, I think you have to be 60.
All right, so and
Next year,
60 by the first of the year.
how about prior felonies? Oh, I'm sorry.
So I do have to do a Cory check.
Sorry,
You make the decision.
Wow.
sorry. All right, so where are we at?
That could be another blank tape.
Yeah. Where are we at as far as, is it in your ballpark now to?
So I don't think this has to go through the personnel board.
I grabbed a job description from online and started modifying it. and-
You grabbed a job description from a town employee's
Yes,
position,
yeah.
So like the job descriptions that I put together for the ones out of the Council on Aging
Yeah.
are just things that I put together.
So you would be the person.
I think
that-
I might have run them through the Council on Aging, so I think this would be you guys approving that
Yeah,
job description. And then it's a matter of finding someone to do it.
yeah.
But I don't, like, it's not,
It's not a.
I don't
rec
go
board-
around
it's-
looking for.
It's not a rec board
people.
function, rec board if, well, I would imagine this is gonna be approved somewhere.
I believe it's from you guys,
Okay.
but I can find that out.
Yeah. I think that would be the best route, because I don't want to jump ahead and approve it, and then they look at us and say,
Let's wait till the next meeting, let's get some more information.
yeah, so let's
Because we
table
may wanna
this.
see
I should have sent it out a couple of days ago.
It's not like we need it tomorrow,
Yeah,
but we'll have it ready
Yeah, this is-
for May.
a big plus.
Do you need to know how many hours you'd be doing weekly, or what the maximum number of hours are?
I mean, the maximum number of hours total for the year
It's the 133.
is the 133 and a third, so whatever they do. You know, if they do 5 hours this week and 2 hours next week, whatever,
Yeah.
they
Just
just
adds
accrue
up.
over the year, yeah. It technically started November 1st,
Yeah.
so they're, you know,
Behind it.
Yeah.
For that
But-
130.
But this might, you know.
they
more
could
of
just
the-
catch it right up.
And this
If
is,
we have the hours, so we have to look at our schedule and say, because it might be good to have it open up all the pickleball.
Right.
So that's the pickleball person, and how many hours would that be?
that's the end run. And if it gets to that point, then maybe we have two people. You know,
That's what I'm
it's-
saying, yeah.
You're not under any limitation, right?
I don't believe there's a limit to the number of seniors who participate in the program.
Yeah.
As long as
At
they
this point,
qualify.
no, that, other towns do that.
Well, I
They,
can
they
see-
do
I can-
income limits, they do limits
Yeah,
on
yeah,
how many
yeah,
people can do, so
yeah.
as of right, I think I have 12 people right now in town
Yeah.
that do that.
Yeah, underutilized.
Because that, from going strictly pickleball, Cindy's gonna have her people. So if we add the 2 extra days this summer, that would be my intention, is that that's covered by this
Yes.
person.
The recreation.
If we
committees-
put a horseshoe pit in.
Or
that-
just other,
Or a Friday night ping
Yeah,
pong
yeah.
night.
Yeah. Okay.
And it just gives us a utility ball player.
so I think that one of the
Trying
other
to think
steps
recreation
is,
part of it.
because I don't know how about the other ones, but they seem to be more, this seems nebulous, like, oh, let's come up with a schedule, a tentative schedule, Monday, Thursdays, or whatever your schedule is, tentative, so if somebody comes in, we can give them an idea. Generally, this is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
9 to 12 on Monday through Friday, there might be an occasional one.
And that also would hinge on whether we get a horseshoe pit or, you know.
Field, lawn game.
Yeah, yeah,
Time,
yeah.
ping pong.
Okay. All right, so we're tabling that until next meeting.
Yeah, and you're gonna find out if it needs.
I will ask if
Yeah,
it needs to be
yeah.
approved anywhere
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
And then I have one question.
We're still going, but yes.
No, we-
For this or
No,
in general? Crosswalk?
Yes, I didn't get very far, but I
Oh, that's still-
emailed the police chief,
Yep.
asked her about it, and she said that would be a great idea. I'm gonna shoot this off to DPW,
Okay, cool.
and I haven't heard anything.
I can,
They usually
I can
paint them
follow up
all
with
in the
that.
spring. I
So,
Yeah.
so I think I was assuming that it would be the police chief or police department to be like yes or no, and we could do a
DPW could do it.
crosswalk, and then it would be like,
what do you call it, I will,
Maybe we should go to
Check in with
the
DPW
Institute
and
for
find out.
Savings to see if they'll donate a campaign.
so true, so true. So crosswalk is good. Flagpole, I don't even know where that was left. I know that they would prefer to have a fiberglass flagpole. Did anyone do that? I hope that wasn't on my list.
DPW put up new flag, this is from last meeting,
Yep.
DPW put up new flagpole, but prefer to have fiberglass pole, about a $600 to $800 on preliminary search. Dave will ask the town administrator for clarification on how many flagpoles need to be up per the ordinance.
Oh, that
It's
was,
just
yeah,
one-
that,
one, But we
yeah.
voted on it, we have money, so if you just wanna
Yeah, well, I'll update that.
tell DPW, yeah.
Call me on that, right? Just remind me,
Um,
tomorrow and the next day, that I could have that.
Just call me to remind you.
Okay, that was totally,
Okay.
new business. Fiscal spending plan for 2025.
Next meeting, I'll have a general outline for what we are normally appropriated and what we are currently using
Yeah,
in the different areas, whether it's security, Townsend, field, and then see what we have for discretionary funds. We can figure out a budget, but the idea is, here's how much discretionary funds we have.
yeah, and we may actually, from last year, have leftover money
We did.
in our own account
We did.
that we could put towards the playground.
Yeah, we should,
Yeah.
because I think we get the copies
Yeah,
of what's been used.
excellent. Library playground. You said that wasn't my job.
I don't know anything, what was supposed to be found out about
I
that?
think that it turned out that we were questioning whether that
What
money
funds
went
were
to.
used,
Yeah, I
right?
think they were.
Well, they might need to fundraise
But
for
that's not
the
necessarily-
caution tape, because the caution tape is now gone, but the
Oh, it's gone.
stuff's flying up, yeah, it's flying all over the place.
Yeah.
That's a game now, it's,
Yeah, nothing
kids
is-
hold on to it like a
nothing's happened.
maypole and you just,
No, other than there's a hazard, which is all the
Right.
equipment sitting around the corner.
Right.
Yeah, and I think DPW is straight out, and so that was part of the whole thing with them working on the fields. You know, there's a lot of areas to mow and to maintain, but they do a great job, those beautiful fields, but right now they look tired because we had 40 inches of rain last year and it's continued in the spring, so.
That we have.
Just add some sun and things will be good. So, to recap, we're gonna recap with Cindy. Cindy, you're gonna take care of our
The two signs, do you need to vote on money for that?
No,
Maybe,
we already
or
did,
just-
we already did, yeah.
How much was it?
I think a couple $100, $300.
I think it was more than that.
500?
So, I mean, I'm not getting like gold,
No,
but yeah.
You could lose a couple. You could reappropriate the ones.
I use mine
I know you do.
every Tuesday.
I can't imagine if we have to change the words on it
Oh
either,
my
so
God,
I'm glad
it's a
you're
pain in
buying
the
new
neck,
ones.
so you wanna really only have to do
it
it.
said it'll be closed.
Yeah, so I like the idea, yeah, so.
Due to weather, you
Yeah,
know, fields are
yeah.
closed, something like that, so it's just,
Closed. It's hard.
Yeah.
it's just, it gets tedious, cause we change them a lot.
No, I know,
for
but
our stuff.
I'm thinking that this is just a.
closed, still closed.
Still closed.
Why are you asking? Closed.
Go away.
Still closed, you know. But,
So I'm doing the two signs, I'm finding out about the approval for the job description.
were we finding out about a banner or no?
Marcus.
I'll look into a banner.
Mark's looking into that.
I would just visit.
I'll update that senior property tax stuff online. I'll send in my applications for pickleball, yoga, and stretch.
Mike, your job is to, if you still wanna, after tonight,
Yeah.
you still wanna be.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a good example, a good.
Yeah, it wasn't too contentious, there was
Sometimes
times.
it's
Well,
just.
Well, I think, I guess,
I
I
have
guess
one
for
question before we wrap it up. We talked about when we did the changing the access to the building. remember we extended the access or
Oh,
shortened the
yeah.
access?
Did they take care of that?
Is it 7 to 7?
No, now,
Oh, I think there was a,
oh,
We
wait,
changed it with, because it was dark, right? We said
No,
between
we-
this time and this time.
yeah, I think the DPW thought something better about not leaving it open as late.
I guess the question
When it got
is,
dark
now
out.
that the kids are coming and they're scheduled to, I think, 8 o'clock,
Right,
that we need to ask DPW to let this field house be open till like 8:30, so all the kids are gone.
yeah.
Yeah, but 7 in the morning, so like when I get there at 7:45, the door is open to the
Yeah.
bathrooms,
Yeah.
which I think is nice because there's already dog walkers there.
Yeah.
Well, the bus drivers also like it.
Yes.
Yeah, I see them there sometimes.
Yes. Yes, they do.
It's just a nice access.
But it's
But-
extending on the
Other
other
end,
side.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the opening time was okay, it's just the,
Closing,
there we go.
doors on the timer, 7 AM to 8 PM, Monday through Friday.
so let's just confirm when it's open. If it's not open till 8:30,
Can they do that?
can they do that? Yeah.
Doors open when?
7.
7 AM.
Doors open 7 AM to 8:30.
Monday through Friday. That's
And what on the weekends?
a,
Same thing?
I don't have that noted.
Because on Saturdays, some of the kids practice at like 8, 8:30.
I would say all week.
The same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
agreed.
doesn't have to just be Monday through Friday, I would
Right.
be.
And then Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, and then Saturday,
All the days that end with one.
all the, yeah.
Does Chris actually close on Thursday, or do you go over there?
Chris closes on Wednesdays. The stretch instructor closes on Mondays.
Yeah,
The yoga instructor closes on Wednesdays.
on Wednesday, right. So we'd be the last ones on Friday, Thursday, I mean.
Thursday. yeah.
Because I've noticed a couple of times that inside door, people go to the bathroom.
Mhm. And they don't shut it?
They're unlocking it.
Oh,
You know, there's
Yeah.
latch, and if it's unlocked, it's unlocked, no matter
Okay.
what the timer says, it's open.
okay.
Um,
Are you closing the door to the kitchen? Because
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
closing and locking that, and I'm also checking the
door in the front.
the door in the front with the bar. So I'm a trained closer, I'm just, if I'm not,
Certified?
I'm certified, you betcha, I'm certified. But, I guess that just, you gotta be aware of it. And I just, in fact, I saw
Maybe I'll
something,
do like a closing procedure.
that's not a bad idea, just hang it up in the kitchen.
So that door
Check.
going from the restrooms into the main area is
Should be
not on a time lock?
closed. No, that's not on the
It's
time
not
lock.
on the time.
Okay.
But if someone's flicking that,
If
It's
people,
unlocked.
people, I saw someone do it the other day, I said, what'd you just do? And they said, well, I don't want the door to lock behind me, so just go around, you know, we're
Right.
standing in here, but,
please don't manipulate the lock.
yeah, no, but check the windows, check the,
Right.
yeah,
Especially as it's getting nicer out,
And lower
the
the heat.
windows open, I wanna
Yeah.
make sure that they're closed and
and
locked.
lower the heat, yeah, that's all, and that's all on the table.
Right.
Mark, can I just ask you, when you're talking about getting in touch with IT for putting the closure, are you emailing him?
Phone.
He responds like this to email,
Okay.
Yeah,
so I think it's probably best.
I'm the same way.
Jonathan's really good.
all right, so,
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
I'm doing DPW, the lock system, 7 AM to 8:30 weekly, and I'm asking about the amount of flags before I do the flagpole, before we vote on.
Yeah.
spending
Yeah, I think it's
money.
only gonna be one, but there was a new,
They've had some new
So you had talked
new
about
thing
it,
a
yeah,
couple
maybe
weeks, a
As-
couple months ago.
I
Yeah.
thought they wanted the Newbury flag on the same pole.
Well, let's find out
Yeah,
what
they
the
are.
requirements
Yeah.
are, so we're not the
Okay,
ones.
okay. I'm going to also talk to DPW about the crosswalk.
And James was CC'd on the email from,
Okay, yeah, so
So-
they'll know about it.
I
I'm sure
think-
they've got a lot on their, I think they're finishing up the bathhouse at Plum Island. So I think that they're probably going crazy with that before they start.
There was
getting
also a
into it.
ton of trees down and stuff from the storms.
Yeah.
and they've been busy.
Little trees issue, yeah.
Anything else that everyone wants to talk about library playground? I don't know anything about that. Next meeting, date and time? You got your 2 cents in about what you wanted to talk
About the
about?
time, yeah.
Real quick, I'm in the works of getting a replacement my principal's kind of been a little difficult, so, but I have a meeting with him on Thursday with somebody who we think will work. I'll try and get him for the next meeting.
Okay.
Would that be good?
Yeah,
That
it's
could
fine.
come in like observe and then.
Yeah.
And then does he take over July?
If that person is accepted by the.
If they,
July 1st is usually.
just so I can tell them like
First,
if they.
first meeting of the
Okay.
year. In years past, I didn't do it this past year, but prior to that, if we get all the applications done in time, both soccer programs, and anybody else comes in, we used to take August off. I don't know if that's something that people want to consider. And a number of departments or committees take a month off in the summer,
Really?
Or is
Yeah.
it like not meeting?
not meeting.
Mine doesn't.
Vacations,
Wow, okay.
You gotta take us old people, take out us old people.
yeah. And some people do it like in December as well, because it's holidays and just.
Old people with felonies.
And then in the spring, because of the weather and.
Okay, everybody gets time off.
All right, let's vote on, let's talk about next
I already
meeting and
have it in
time.
my,
I've written down
the 6th?
May 6th
Yeah,
at
it's just,
6:30 question mark.
All right, let's.
I have it in my calendar.
So, did 7 o'clock work for everyone, except for Ben,
7 o'clock.
start time? Cause now it's almost 9 o'clock.
I can make it work.
That's my bedtime.
This
He's
is,
going to college.
oh, that's right, but he's also studying, he's got
He's
AP
got
classes.
AP.
There's a chance I can't make the May one because I have AP tests and prom all in that same, so I don't know what days are what.
What is more important, prom
Prom.
or?
Your
I don't know.
senior prom
Come on.
with a rec committee meeting for May, come on.
Decisions.
Priorities, Ben.
So, fill me in here, was it
May
the
6th.
7th?
May 6th.
6th.
Monday, May 6th.
See, I don't have it down. All right, so May 6th at
6:30.
6:30, and it's gonna be short, right, Mr. Agenda?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll think I'll be there.
Did you say it's gonna be a short one?
I'm hoping,
They're gonna be back for the next one.
and we're gonna make it quick.
I mean-
They're first, right?
It's just gonna be a
Yeah,
decision.
so we should, so when people do come to like speak,
Can't we just
what's
push
the
them
order?
first?
All right, the 6th is your candidate forum at
Can we
11.
what?
When
That's in the
people
morning.
come to speak, like, when do
11.
we address them?
We can address them
Okay.
first of all.
Okay. You just didn't-
This
you
was,
just didn't-
no, this was,
you just didn't-
again, it's still a public meeting, this was, in theory, it should go on an agenda, and then we discuss it on the agenda. And so, we don't have to, as a committee, have open dialogue in between, unless we state, okay, well, we're gonna have open dialogue, we put it on, we say, if anyone has any question and answer, we don't have to take,
Like a public comment section.
yeah. And it's sort of a,
Public courtesy that we
Yeah.
allowed them to speak at this time.
So did you not know anyone was coming?
we did.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. I got
we-
the message
we
this
got-
morning.
we got
Yeah,
emails.
'cause-
Oh, not in time for the agenda. I-
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got emails, that's why at the end, we said, if you wanna.
Next time, let us know.
Yeah, cause then we could
Put
get
it
some
on
of our
there,
ducks
yeah.
in a row. And then we could actually say, hey, we'll discuss it as a group. And whether we discuss it as a group alone, I don't know if we can do that, so we don't feel like, okay, well.
I
people
think
will
like
come.
with the select board, if people come and they speak during public comment, the select board doesn't discuss that issue.
Yeah, they won't
Correct.
discuss
They
it.
say, we'll
Yeah.
take it under advisement.
Yeah,
That's,
yeah,
And then it
Yeah.
can go on the next.
Because
meeting.
if
school
not-
committee does the same thing.
yeah, if not, it elongates the meeting way
Well,
beyond.
it detracts from what you're trying to
Yeah,
accomplish that
yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Okay, I was just
um,
wondering what.
So, again, I'm sorry, rec committee meeting will be
The
at 6:30. And, if everyone's good with that, done deal. So, everyone's good? All right, vote to adjourn, I say we adjourn the meeting at 8:56. All in favor?
I.
Can we have Mary turn off the
Sure.
camera?